All right. Well, we are here. Give us a big thumbs up or a clap or something in the chat. Let us know that you can see us, that you can hear us, not you. Hello, Angela. How are you? We got Carol. We got Dandy Doo 22. We've got Nancy. We've got Desiree. Who else have we got?
Well, welcome, y'all. It's been a busy week for us.
Very busy.
So, hi, Deborah. Hi, Angela.
Let's turn this on to anything but an audible noise.
Yes, that would be wise. That would be wise today. Well, I hope you guys are having a great week this week. It is officially almost over for me. Kind of.
We're that close. We're
Yes.
that close.
So, all right. Hi, Serena.
Sherry's here. Don, the mighty Weber, bowls a 300 every time he even looks at the lanes.
Yeah.
First time on one. Oh, well, welcome, Serena. How are you? Good to see you. Donna's here. Roxana. Okay, Roxana, you just took me back to 5 years old with the electric company. And hey, you guys. We got Heather. We got Sherry. All right. Well, we're just going to get into some meat and potatoes here in just a sec. But yeah, to bring people up to speed, it's been a crazy week, and the holidays are now here. We're in December. The crazy holidays are definitely here. And the events are starting to happen. So one thing we want to just give everyone a nice, gentle reminder to have a plan before you go out. Have a plan before you wonder, oh my gosh, I didn't plan for this. What do I do? Get a plan in place ahead of time. That will definitely save your bacon, pun absolutely intended.
Absolutely. And this is a great time to be during this time.
Hey, Paola.
Hey, Paola. This is a great time to where if you are busy during this holiday season, this is a great time to try to make sure you've got your thought process in place to what you need to have with you. Like, I'm going to be shopping all day. I'll just grab something. So get a plan and plan ahead. I always keep like chomps, beef sticks on hand. I keep, or we'll stop and get a burger and I'll say no bun, hold the bun, and just get the burgers with cheese and bacon on it. And, just keep it simple. I overthink it and I overanalyze things. So I'm like trying to figure things out, or just pack your bacon purse with you, or meat cookies.
Or your purse bacon.
Oh, purse bacon. Yeah, sorry. What can I say?
You're dyslexic by word.
Yes. So
Sherry, you like the sweet potato, and you modified yours, not even any cauliflower, but yes, so freaking good. That is a hit every time we cook it, whether it's for Thanksgiving, whether it's for Christmas, whether it's for New Year's, whether it's for Thursday. It's just good. Purse bacon for the win.
Yes, absolutely. There's no reason not to have it in your purse. It's always good to have, or have it in the car.
Yeah, so. and understand there's gonna be a lot of people out shopping. There's a lot of people making the rounds to different, office parties or just social get-togethers for all the various holidays. You can't plan for everything, but you can plan your contingency plan. By that, yeah, the purse bacon, having something ready to go. You can't always, get to your Instant Pot, when you realize, oh, I've got to go shopping. I got to go shop for something on my way to an event. So just have some things in mind. But I'm going to segue, and part of that's also going to be based on what your plan is, on what your way of eating is. If you're keto, if you're ketovore, if you're beef, butter, bacon, and eggs, if you're doing full-on lion, if you're just a carnivore, if you're just low carb, anywhere in that spectrum is the right place for you. So the question is, how do you know? I titled this, keto or carnivore, which one's right for me? And I just realized I'm going to have to edit this afterwards because the title is wrong on the restreamer, but that's okay because it's still beyond Thanksgiving. Keto or carnivore, which one's right for me? understand this. There's a lot of people that come into this community in particular, but just in general, they come to this low carb space. And because carnivore has received so much attention in the last 12 to 18 months, people assume, because they hear it so much, they assume that that's what I have to do. And I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with carnivore or lion or ketovore. They're all good. They all have a purpose. But which one is right for you? I said before that your health journey and your proper human you diet is going to be as unique as your fingerprint, because you've eaten a certain way for so long. Maybe you've had some health conditions for a long time, some chronic things, maybe new things have cropped up, maybe things have disappeared. Everyone's journey is going to be a little bit different, or a lot different. And so you got to take that into account, with the amount of maybe damage that's been done because of how you've eaten for how long. And then, then throw in the confounders like medical conditions, medications. All of those things can play a role in how you construct your proper human you diet. So I want to think, she's a nurse. I know Serena's a nurse. There's some other nurses here in the community and other healthcare workers. One of the things I like to do is also think kind of in a therapeutic vein. And there's actually, there's a term, therapeutic ketogenic diet, which is a very broad spectrum term, but it's just that. It's where a doctor says you need, and essentially prescribes a way of eating for you, for medical reasons. And just like if you have a little bit of a sniffle, they may give you a little something to help take care of some symptoms. If you've got a full-blown nasty bug, they may give you something a bit stronger. And they say the poison's in the dose. Well, the healing's in the dose too, especially if you think of the way you eat as being therapeutic. If you're brand new to this way of eating, then you probably came here for a number of reasons. One of them might be weight loss, fat loss. But there's a lot of people that have come to this for getting rid of some chronic inflammation, chronic joint pain, a lot of other health issues on the periphery of, weight loss is just kind of, for some folks, an afterthought. And they've got, bigger fish to fry, so to speak. So when you think about how you approach your way of eating, how you construct it, remember, it's a spectrum. And sometimes if you just got, that little sniffle, you could start at low carb or keto and kind of, I don't want to say ease into it, but maybe ease into it. If you don't have that grocery list of conditions that you're trying to overcome and trying to find solutions to, then you could maybe, dabble in it a little bit and go a little bit easier. But someone who's got, rheumatoid arthritis and Hashimoto's and fatty liver and fatty pancreas and they may need a stronger dose. And no one's going to tell you here's what you have to do. It's always going to be an N of 1 experiment. Triple B&E is essentially a carnivore elimination diet.
And that's good. The triple B&E is also a great way to, if you are just wanting to cut things out completely, the triple B&E is going to be a great way to do that, and then kind of figure out what you need. My diet, my lifestyle, my journey is different from his. I jump from low carb to keto, so I go back and forth, and there's a day or two where I may be strictly carnivore. So it just varies from my day-to-day life. With us having kids, our kids are not always carnivore or low carb. I'm okay with that. But we recognize our kids are starting to make decisions on their own that they're like, I don't really want that. I'd rather just have that.
Huzzah!
So, but with that being said, like right now, I am on a low carb right now during the holidays because I like to bake and I try to make it more carb friendly and I try to make it more protein based and more fat based than I do anything else. So, and then I just make sure I'm using those products that are as clean as possible so that we can enjoy them and not have um the consequences
The
of having,
regrets.
yes, regrets or consequences of hurting. Like last night we went out with our group.
You can say church group.
Yes.
I have a mug, and I
Yeah.
don't mind showing it.
Yeah, we have a life group that we are a part of, and we all went to head dinner last night. And I ate some mussels, and I felt it this morning. I was like, "Ooh, I don't feel so good." So I just pretty much ate all meat today, and I had a couple nuts, but that was all I've done today to kind of try to deplete whatever's in my body. And I did the intermittent fasting for 16 hours, I think it was.
Mhm.
So
And Heather's got a good question. Does switching from keto to carnivore boost weight loss? Yeah, carnivore is healing diet, not much. Paula, 100%. And Paula is another coach in the group. And welcome, Paula. So glad you're here. Yeah, and she hit the nail right on the head. Is that if you're trying to either drastically lose weight for therapeutic reasons, not for how you look in the mirror, but for medical reasons, or to heal, then carnivore is going to be the way to go, and you probably want to stay as close to that as you can during that healing process. Now, her switching back and forth and just generally switching, kind of being a little bit in flux, there's not so much wrong with that, but you have to be very aware of what you're doing, what she said the consequences might be. If you were to say, I'm going to do this for weight loss, for therapeutic weight loss, then understand that the lower you turn down that dial of carbohydrates, the lower your insulin, the more healing can happen. You can be a fat burner, and all the things. But if you were to then reintroduce some carbohydrates, even short term, understand there's going to be an effect, and it could take a few days for that to level out. You might see some results, regrets the next day or two or three, even if you switch back, the very next day. But it could take a little bit of time because it's anyone ever put some bad gas in your car? It doesn't take a whole lot. I'm just going to top off the tank, but it was, someone says, why'd you go to that gas station? It's crappy gas, and it mixes in, and your car's not going to run right for a couple days until you flush that out and put some good fuel in it. So if you think in terms of that, that may help you. The other thing is that switching, especially here at the holidays, switching between it's going to happen. There is no perfect. You're not going to be 100% carnivore 100% of every day. Ain't going to happen. That's perfection. We strive for excellence, not perfection. Yeah, we just tell folks, do the best you can, always. Stalled on weight loss for 8 months, looking to jumpstart it again. Okay, Heather, that's a very good, valid reason why, yeah, maybe you should give yourself that proverbial shot in the arm to kind of kickstart things. You could also, do you do any sort of, have any fasting strategies? Do you do any sort of intermittent fasting or alternate day fasting? Are you OMAD, 2MAD, 3MAD? All these things are factors. And that's why, when we say PhD synergy, we got to look at all of the things. We got to look at diet, when you eat, when you don't eat, what you eat, what's your activity, what's your rest, what's your mindset? How are you approaching this? Is it weight loss? Is it therapy? How is it affecting your habit formation? All of these things work together. We can focus in on one or the other from time to time because we need to do a little bit of work. But understand, you always need to, I believe, you always need to back up a few steps and look at the big picture, and then dive in, then come back, then dive into this area and come back. That way, a rising tide will raise all ships.
Yeah, and the other thing too is whenever you are changing your diet and you are using products like stevia or monk fruit, keep in mind some of those products, it depends on the person. And just like Neil said, it is like as unique as your thumbprint. So some people can get away with doing stevia drops in their coffee, or they could do the flavored electrolyte water with monk fruit flavoring in there to have some sweetener in there. And some of those people will gain weight, and it affects them. It takes them out of, fasting window. So keep all that stuff in mind when you're doing that.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes just a sweet taste can spike your insulin. They call it the cephalic insulin response. Yeah, some people can just imagine eating a cookie and their insulin might actually spike a little bit. But yeah, so, and someone had asked here, so Heather does alternate day fasts. So yeah, maybe one thing to do is sometimes your body can say, oh, so we're going to fast 16 hours and then we're going to eat once or twice. Then we're going to do that again. Okay, I got this figured out. Sometimes you got to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes you need to shorten that window, or, alternate day fasts are good. But sometimes instead of doing a 16-8, maybe you just do a 12 to mix it up, and then you do an alternate day or whatever. There's something to the what they call hormetic stress, which is just putting extra stress on your body strategically. That's what a cold, everyone saw Nisha's cold plunge video, which was, it was funny, but it was enlightening.
That's not for me. Not yet. Not yet.
You got to work up to it. But understand, she put a massive stress on her body. So her body's like, whoa, I got to pay attention now. I got to be more efficient now because something just happened I wasn't prepared for. You can do that with alternate fasting. You can do that with intermittent fasting. You can do that with going from, low carb or keto to a triple B&E or a carnivore diet. Yeah, mix it up. Mix it up on fire, in fuego. Wait, let's see.
So, and the other thing too is Neil and I were talking earlier, and I had forgotten that you, whenever you are doing your fasting or you're eating in a certain way, making sure you've got your protein in your fast together, like eating low carb things. We were talking about low carbs and fats, and when you eat certain products together, they don't burn. They end up being put for storage. So
now Paula, she brings up a really good point here. Let's hope it'll pull it all. Yeah, carnivore is a healing way of eating. And can it be used for fat loss? Yes. But like she says, sometimes it can, even as your body is healing and figuring out some of these stressors and figuring out how to handle some of this stuff, you might actually gain a little bit of weight to start with. So don't let that get you off track. Again, that's where it's a healing way of eating versus just a way of quick fat loss, a way of quick weight loss. If you're looking for weight loss and weight management, you could do a triple B&E to get that kick started on a short-term basis. But yeah, then after a while, you're probably going to want to get into a ketovore or even a keto, and then dial that in over time. And like she said, nothing is going to be overnight. Nothing's going to be quick. And the more damage that you've done to your body over the years, decades, the longer it's going to take for your body to heal. And so sometimes it just takes time. I think you said you had a stall of about 8 months. Well, maybe the scale had stalled, but understand this, the healing is continuing. So don't lose sight of that. And always remember what the goal is. Is the goal just fat loss? Probably not. It's probably going to be a lot of healing.
And just remember, I just turned 50. So my way of eating has been this. I've been eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet, for 45 years. And even when I was eating what the American standard diet was, I was still gaining weight and I wasn't losing weight. And my doctors were like, that's a metabolic issue. So just keep in mind when you're changing your diet and you are doing, whether you're doing low carb, keto, carnivore, aligned, whatever your spectrum is, wherever you are on that spectrum, just keep in mind that it takes time. If you didn't gain all this weight overnight, it's just going to take time. I mean, when I weighed over 420 pounds, and then I lost a little bit of weight, and then I lost a little bit more, and then I gained it all back and then some. So it just takes time. So if you're doing it for weight loss, I'll tell you right now, for me, my experience, it's not his experience, but my experience is that yes, I did lose some weight, but it took time because I did damage for 45 years. So
Yeah. Now, let's see. Choosing to live. Keto better than carnivore for weight loss, and why? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. For some people, your body's going to respond to those macros, however you dial them in, differently. Like she just said, she could eat exactly what I eat and get very different results. You could eat exactly what I eat and get way different results. You could eat the same thing, and it's all over the map. Now, there's going to be some trends that we can look at, but generally speaking, it's going to take some trial and error, some tweaks along the way. Again, vitamin P, allow for time, allow for patience, because that's just going to be that's going to be vital, because otherwise you're be shooting in the dark, wondering, well, let me try this for 3 days, let me try that for a week, let me try. But and I was listening this morning to a video of Dr. It's one of those, I subscribe to Dr. Berry's YouTube channel. I get all the notifications, and there was one that's like, how did I miss that one from like 2 months ago? And he talks, about, I think it was the carnivore checklist. And see, here's the thing. I started out with, we did, and he starts out his video the same way. Know what your why is. Why did you come to this way of eating? And then he also says, yeah, sometimes you can be carnivore forever. If you're getting good results, you can keep going. And that's perfectly okay. If you find your body, maybe doesn't quite respond as well after 90 days or so, maybe mix it up, try something a little different. Or if you want to try to reintroduce some vegetables or something, you can do that. But he said, with the caveat of give it 90 days, a solid, true 90 days of 100% effort. Because otherwise, if it's going to take your body that long to get fat adapted and keto adapted and change how you burn fuel, what if you were that close, but you 3 weeks, 4 weeks into it, you said, I don't see the results that I thought I would get, and then you quit. You say, I don't think it's for me, when you were right on the edge of a breakthrough. 90 days is a very good run for anything, not just changing how you eat, but changing any habit. 90 days.
Absolutely. It's just like whenever a doctor gives you a new prescription, you are told, it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks. It could take 12 weeks before your body gets adjusted to all this. The same thing when you're changing your lifestyle and your journey. So the other thing I was going to say is men and women are very different. So whenever they're eating in a certain way, in a certain style, they're not going to get the same results anyway. So just keep that in mind. His weight loss was totally different from my weight loss. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, protein sparing, modified fats. There's results all over the map. I'm not a fan of it. I haven't seen anything that has convinced me that that's something I need to do. Paola, says, there's some, I don't know, risks, as far as you could gain weight back. I would just say, do some more homework on that. Make sure you understand exactly what that is. I don't want to get into it here now.
That would be a good topic for another time.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Paola, I agree. So let me ask you guys this. in the comments what is your way of eating and how long have you been doing it, just so we can kind of get a cross section.
Now, how long have you been doing it, babe?
Since January 14th of 21. I was 270 pounds and miserable, and I was just unhealthy and no energy and joint pain and just horrible attitude. And so, yeah, I just said, enough's enough.
And the funny thing is since he started this life's journey and then he started doing this, his allergies went away. I kid you not. We had a pharmacy in our house, in our cabinets, everywhere, because he always had to have something, whether it was for allergies, sinuses, stomach issues. We had the whole pharmacy in our cabinet, and now we rarely ever use any products over the counter. So the occasional Tylenol and what have you. So that's pretty good.
Huzzah. Yeah, Serena, she's been 99% carnivore for 2 years. And if you see her on Facebook, Instagram, social media, and you can see some before and after, and she's got a really good success story. So yeah, check her out. She knows how to do this. She definitely knows how to do this.
Choosing to Live has been doing keto for a year. That's great. That's great. Donna's doing keto, less than 20 carbs, 4.5 years. That's really good. Now, when everybody says carbs, is it net carbs or is it total carbs you're doing?
Oh, good question. Good question.
So, Desiree's been doing carnivore for 5 weeks. Paleo since 2016. Lately, high fat, low carb.
Okay. You see, and here's the paleo. That's on a proper human diet spectrum too. Now, there are certain things in a paleo diet that for me, are very inflammatory, and I just can't do it. But for some people, that's where they land, and that's, you know what, that's okay too. If you're just low carb, see, here's the thing, that's fine. You're okay. We love you all. Just because you hear a lot about carnivore and lion and triple doesn't mean that you don't have a place here. It's a proper human diet, and it's all of the things. Only count total carbs. Good, because the math, why math if you don't have to? Because then you got to factor in fiber, which means you got to factor in, I got to eat more fiber. If I want to get the carbs, I got to have fiber to counteract, and I got to get a formula and an algorithm. And am I just a simpleton? Is that just too hard? Possibly for me.
Heather has, she's a stage 4 breast cancer survivor. That is awesome. The survivor.
Yes. Yeah. And so a proper human diet, wherever you land, a proper human diet is going to be leaps and bounds better than a standard American, standard Western diet. And it's, again, whether you came to this for the healing aspects or not, you're still going to get them. You've got some cancer in your history too. And guess what? Has there been any inkling of it? Nope.
I had stage 4 cervical cancer many, many years ago. And one of the things I learned is that the cancer will come back. It will come back with a vengeance if your diet isn't proper human diet. And what I mean by it thrives off of sugars.
There you go.
It thrives off of carbohydrates. It thrives off of a lot of things. So, like Paula said, she would stick to the fasting and the carnivore because that's going to narrow it out, and it's going to continue the healing. And that's one of the things about cancer is that when you're not eating any processed foods and you are depleting all the artificial processed things, that your body can do its own healing that way. And it's much better. I have not had cancer since 2005. So
#FCancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I will say this, as soon as you added that part to your comments or to your story, that changes everything. And this isn't by any means a gripe for anybody in the community at all. But let me just say this: when you pose a question to one of the coaches, to Dr. Barry, to Nisha, just understand, the more you have to be concise. I know with the amount of characters in the chats, but the more information you can provide, and if you got to divide it between a part one and part two, do that. Because something like, oh, I had cancer in my history, can change a lot of things.
Everything.
Then it'd be like, oh, cancer. Well, cancer loves sugar. Everything that has a carbohydrate can break down into sugar, into glucose. So yeah, you want to stay carnivore. I was talking with someone earlier today with a similar thing. It was 3 or 4 into the comments, into our interaction, where he says, "Oh, well, I'm having a weight loss thought, and it's because of some chemo treatment." I'm like, "Oh, see, that changes everything. That changes your whole outlook." So if you've got a condition or medications or something, we're coaches. We can't diagnose anything for you. We can't make any pronouncements. We can't give you any kind of comprehensive medical treatment plan. We can give you the best we got, but in order for us to give you the best we got, give us as much information that's going to be pertinent. So yeah, just keep that in mind, all of you, as you get on lives and do Q&As. What does he say? Be oh my God, be laconic without being superfluous. Yeah, be concise.
And the other thing too is everything that your life, like my life, I currently take no medications at all. I have no medicines that I take. I just do the daily minerals and everything else. So what is your lifestyle? What are you taking on the daily basis? What are you drinking on the daily basis? What is your environment? Like, your environment has a lot to do with your weight loss as well as your mental status.
Mm-hmm.
So
Serena brings up a great point. Your why's going to change, or it can change. She came for weight loss, and now she's realizing, as you dive into, maybe that was your inroad, but then you start researching, you start asking questions, you start hearing answers to questions you hadn't even thought of by getting into the community and into Q&As. You hear stuff, you're like, let me hear what they're saying, and I'm going to go do some of my own research. And you realize, oh my goodness, there's a whole lot more to this. So yeah, always be open, always be looking for things that you can apply, even if they don't apply to you now, they may later, or someone that you know. So your why can definitely change, and the more that you get around this, you'll realize, oh, I had that issue too. I didn't even really think much of it, but apparently it's a thing.
Mm-hmm. So, hello from Virginia, and we're glad you're here.
Virginia, what part?
So, but no, just keep in mind, whenever you're talking to, like, if you go to your doctor and you're asking them questions about, hey, I really want to get off this medication, or I want to lower the dose of the medication. A lot of doctors don't like the, I'm going carnivore, or I'm not doing carbs, or what have you. So I always tell, when we talk to our clients and stuff, we always tell them you're doing what? The Mediterranean diet, similar.
A modified Mediterranean diet. You could say I'm doing a whole foods diet. You can say I'm doing a clean whole foods diet. Just maybe stay away from buzzwords like keto, carnivore, because those, I like the term tabloid keto.
Mm-hmm.
And when you use it, when they hear a buzzword, they instantly think, oh, that's that fad thing, which is get the products, or do whatever they're calling keto that really isn't.
Yeah, they
get the wrong impression, and then they may legitimately be worried that you're going down a bad path. And if you are going down a tabloid keto type path, yeah, you could be doing something that could be detrimental. Again, always understand what you're trying to know, what your goal is. If it's a ketogenic way of eating, well, what does that really mean? Ketogenic. look it up, because that's a therapeutic term for processes in your body to heal, through ketone bodies and so on and so on. I won't bore you. But tabloid keto, when you just say, I've gone keto, or we were talking with some folks last night, and they're like, well, I did keto for a while, and I'm off keto now. And I'm thinking about going back on keto. And I told them, and I think we're going to get we're probably going to get some clients out of this meeting, this dinner we had. It was a social event, but they just kept asking questions. And I told them, the biggest thing you can do, stop dieting.
Yeah.
Stop dieting. We're going into all these holidays, all these eating holidays. Stop dieting. Agree in your own head, I'm going to change my lifestyle. I'm going to change how I eat. I'm going to change, and this is another big one for us, I'm going to change how I see food. I'm going to fix my relationship with food. Anyone out there a stress eater? Anyone out there a comfort food eater?
Was.
There you go. See,
Was.
the mentals, the habits, the self-talk. That's why we like to talk to folks about all of this stuff, because it all matters. You have to understand, this brain that you've got here, you control that. And just because there's, social pressure to eat pie and cake and cookies and potato salad and what, that's social pressure. You're not the boss of me. I decide what I put in my body.
Right. And it's funny because when you go to a social gathering, I will get a hamburger. I don't know what it is, but right now I'm going through a smash burger phase right now. Just ask him. I will get home, I will take parchment paper, I'll put hamburger, and I will just mash the heck out of it with the pan. And then I would fry it in the pan. And when that was done, I would add butter on it and lemon salt and pepper. And I was a happy camper. So when I go to these social events, I always bring a hamburger, and I always make sure I have a little bit of extra butter, and then I don't feel tempted to eat other stuff. And that really helps.
Know thyself. Because they are the bomb. Yes, they are. Ready to go carnivore to help. Okay. See, spot on right here. Oh, wrong one. I mean, they are the bomb.
They are the bomb.
Getting ready to go carnivore to heal hypothyroidism. It's a process. You were 1 year ketovore. So yeah, ketovore, your body begins to heal. Then it kind of says, okay, I think I got this, but you're like, I'm not quite, I need to reactivate some healing to let it kick in some more. So yeah, you up the dosage, if you will. And and you're going to get more of those. It's not going to be overnight. Don't expect it to be overnight. You've been ketovore for a year and you've got some results. Keep going.
Optimal health.
Mm-hmm.
That's your key. Is that slow progress? Optimum health is what you're going for. And then from there, your body's going to do it. It's going to shed the weight that it doesn't need. It's going to get rid of all that. And so it's,
Cookies aren't the boss of you. You tell that cookie who's boss, Paola. No, and Kevin has said this too. When you take, if you're tempted and you go to grab a cookie, take a breath, take a minute, and just look at it. And I'll speak to my food and say, your sugar, you're going to break down. You're not going to do my body any good. And if I'm going to do this, I'm going to choose to consciously eat this slow poison. And just that quick little half a second little blip in your head can make all the difference in the world. Yeah, it's not worth it. Was it Mitzi said the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
Oh, he felt that way about a couple of things the last couple times we've eaten. So, but yes, and my thought process went
meat cookies.
Yes, meat cookies are the boss of me. Yes, absolutely.
This is interesting. I've seen this from a lot of folks too.
Yep.
You accused of being on a starvation diet because you said keto. And I like your idea. Oh, well, you know what you're, Carol, you know what you're doing.
I can't tell you how many doctors I have worked with, and they're like, are you not going to, I kid you not, the same doctor, I love him to death. And we were talking, it's been a while, but we were talking about, proper human diet and what have you. And he's like, you're going to be a kidney patient one of these days if you keep eating like that. And I was like, I don't think so. He's like, your cholesterol's going to be out of whack. I was like, I don't think so. Just to give you a prime example, his highest cholesterol was 488.
Trigs. My trigs were 488.
And now it is down to what? 147?
Oh, it's lower than that now.
So I was like,
well, in 3 months, it had gone down to just like right above 200. So more than in half in like 3 months.
And the funny thing is, the same doctor, he said, yesterday I saw him and he goes, hey, do you want some candy? And I'm like, really? Candy? I'll just stick with my meat. So I just thought it was funny. So, but yes, and dentists, doctors.
Yeah. And understand this, like we were saying before, they probably just don't know. Yeah, it could just be simply, they hear the word keto and think, oh, it's that again, where they don't know what they're doing. And I don't really know either. So I'm just going to say, stay away from it. You're going to kill yourself. Okay. Maybe not quite that blunt, but.
Some of them are.
Yeah. But just understand, chances are they don't know and they don't have time to learn. Mm-hmm. So again, you've heard it before. You can either change your doctor or change your doctor. Now we moved into a new area and had to change doctors. And we were fortunate enough that our doctor, he's also got a sports medicine background. Mm-hmm. And so he's not, full on, carnivore and keto and all, but he understands, the Mediterranean, the paleo, the whole food aspect of it. And he saw in my chart, okay, he's been doing a therapeutic ketogenic diet is how my former doctor put it in there. And he said, he looked at the numbers, looked at the, blood pressure, no medication anymore. The weight's good, no statins, cholesterol. He looked at me and he said, oh, well, obviously you've healed your metabolism. So just keep doing what you're doing. How often do you want to see me? 6 months, once a year? You tell me.
Yeah. Yeah. So he sees him. Yeah.
Way to go, PhD.
Absolutely. And he came up of all his blood pressure medicines and all that. So yes.
Now that's funny. How did you carry on a conversation? Organic and the high class. That'd be fun. Be a fly on the wall for that one.
But yeah, the same thing.
Yeah, when people want to know, that's, strike while the iron's hot. If you got to delay and make the next patient wait a few extra minutes, it's okay, because you could be planting a seed that could come up who knows where.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Learn to, don't let them frustrate you. Don't let people frustrate you. If they don't know, they don't know. Then chat. Then chat.
Well, and never be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask questions. This is a great community. So when you are feeling a little down and out, or you have questions about what journey you're supposed to be on, whatever that spectrum is, with the proper human diet, wherever you're at, this is a great opportunity and a great tribe to be a part of, so that they can help you through the process. Because when you don't have the right support system, it is very easy to get out of the habit of trying to do the right thing for you.
Right. And finding like-minded people. As an example, Paola, who, yes, I agree with you. Our chiropractor is a great guy, and he's, he gets distracted talking with us too about, stuff, but also about health stuff, health related things. He knows that, we do some coaching. He knows that it's in a ketogenic,
spectrum.
space. He's, and for whatever reason, a lot of chiropractors are in that Mediterranean paleo space, but and he enjoys staying there. But that's fine. It works for him. It works for some of his patients. But he gets it. He's one of those guys. He gets it, and he says, if he ever talks to someone who needs, something else a little bit more, we definitely have had that talk where he'll say, I'll send people your way if they need a little bit more guidance, more than he can just do on the peripheral of his chiropractic practice.
Scope of practice.
Yeah. But I will say this, finding like-minded people. Paola is, she's been ketovore for, what'd you say, 5 years. So why is that important? Because for me, I tend to be mostly carnivore, but maybe I'm maybe 95 to 97% carnivore. So if I needed some help, if I was having a down moment, if I was struggling, and I went to somebody who, if I need a carnivore buddy, a ketovore buddy might not quite mesh well, especially if it's the reverse. If keto was my jam and I was having a down moment and she was, a full-on carnivore, we're somewhat like-minded, but we're not lockstep like another keto person would be. So that's where people's shared experiences can really come in handy. We're all one big happy PhD Nation family, yes. But sometimes when you dial in and find another that person, that's we're simpatico that way. So just finding somebody that can relate to you in a very specific manner. And I was thinking about this earlier. The other night, Dr. Barry and Nisha had a Monday Night Live, and they had over 4,000 people on that live, which is awesome. That's awesome. But when you speak to 4,000 people at a time, you've got to talk very high level. Occasionally, you'll dip into some specifics, but it's essentially a very high level. Then you do community only lives, and you can get a little bit more specific. And each time you drill down, the most specific is going to be one-on-one. And so again, the more specific of a support group that you have, the more you can get what you need on a more specific level. So is it good to be in the PhD, all access community? Absolutely. But also, find a coach that can help you, and then find some buddies within those groups that can help you, and maybe shoot you a personal text, not even in the network, so shoot you a text message, call you on the phone, especially if you're anywhere remotely local to each other. But even if you're not, just having those people that are of true like mind makes all the difference, because again, we're looking at everything combined: diet, exercise, rest, sleep,
mental status,
mental habits, the whole shebang. And you could be up in 4 of those areas and down in 2, or and so that's where we come in to help each other. So to wrap up, because we're almost out of time, keto or carnivore, which one's better for you? Which one do you need at the time? That could be a totally valid answer, because right now I need more healing, so maybe I want to go carnivore. Right now I'm in kind of a maintenance, and I just want to kind of be on my toes going into the holidays. Well, I need to look at some habits, and maybe read Atomic Habits by James Clear as I'm dialing in my diet a little bit, just to stay on plan. Maybe I need to modify that because I know that I'm going to be hitting some of these, holiday parties. So I know I got to build in a little extra cheese. So maybe I need to dial it down a little bit more and kind of be preemptive. So again, which one's right for you? Serena just said it. N equals 1. Get with someone who can help you figure out and help dial in where that needs to be. We're available. Paola's available. All the other coaches, we can help you dial that in. But which one is the right one for you? That's going to be very unique. It's like your thumbprint, like your fingerprint.
Trial and error.
And just like your why can change, sometimes your way of eating can change for, 3 months, 6 months, a year, and that's okay too. Because sometimes your body needs to do a different kind of healing. Sometimes your body needs to. I just went for 3 years of strict lion diet, and maybe now you're like, okay, so let's throttle back. We'll throttle back to carnivore now. Your body's going to let you know what it needs. Learn how, and this is a key. Learn how to listen to what your body's asking for. Don't just take what you hear, in a news clip, what you see in your news feed, what you hear other people in the keto carnivore space say you should do.
Right.
It might be all valid information, but is it relevant to you in your health journey where you are right now? So just keep that in mind. That I'll go back to my Jurassic Park reference with Jeff Goldblum. That just because we can do a thing doesn't mean that we should. So just because Roxana's doing a certain type of PhD diet, that's hers. That's her fingerprint. That's unique to her, and she needs to stick with that. I might be able to glean some information from that, N=1, and figure out, hey, that can work for me. That I didn't get results. That was actually introducing this other element was inflammatory or whatever. Trial and error, patience, vitamin P. You've got to remember that. How do antibiotics? Yeah, there's always going to be things that life. That's the other thing is we're not in a bubble. This isn't a closed system. High dose of antibiotics for a month. Well, that can change things. That can change things in your gut. That can change things in everything. So again, the gut, the second brain, or the first brain, depending on who it is. You've got to keep in mind that life's going to happen life's going to happen to you, whether you're PhD or not. And so you got to be willing and available to be flexible and, practice a little stoicism. It's not, I can't control what happens, but I control how I respond to it. So.
Yeah. And he's getting ready to go in for a hip replacement come Monday. So he is actually,
I'm a real hip dude.
Yeah, he is. And so he's going to be doing carnivore, and he's doing a fasting during this time so that he can allow the autophagy to kick in, and then he will be on the carnivore diet. We've got bone broth going on. We've got
with extra collagen. Act now.
Yeah. So, but yes.
So anyway, so yeah, find your PhD. Take some time. N=1, and you'll figure it out. And if you need help, that's why the whole coaching panel is here. So anyway, guys, we're gonna jump off of here. We've gone a little over, but I kind of fooled myself. I planned on it. I said let's do 45 minutes because I know it'll go to an hour. So
that's not what he said, by the way.
I said 30 minutes, so we'll go 45. But it happens because you guys bring out the best in me. Anyway. Well, guys, keep things up in the chats, in the feeds, because it helps. I see so many people helping out each other, and it's really, really cool to watch. And you guys, you do support each other, and it's just very, very, very cool. So anyway, guys, not sure when I'll be able to do another live again. It might be a couple of weeks, but this is always fun. I'll post as I can, but she'll be in there posting too. Yeah, just keep the food pics coming, keep the updates coming. We've kind of merged the Let's Get Moving into our coaching space, and at the end of the year, we're actually going to shut the other one down. Because we talk about movement is essential movements because movement's essential. We still talk about that. We still talk about that fat max, just daily low intensity movements. stay on it. Do the arm circles. Do the mountain climbers. Do the air squats. Do that
Hula
stuff.
hoop.
Do the hula hoop.
Have fun.
Yeah. I want a grass skirt for Christmas.
You'll get one.
No. Anyway. Thank you, Sherry. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But
I'll
right,
keep you guys updated. So y'all have a good night.
all right, we'll talk to you soon. Bye.